Hey, I think somebody really hates me out there to give me the first session after lunch. But I think it was a great thumping music to bring us all into wakefulness. So I'll get started. Just waiting for the presentation to come. So while it comes on, a quick introduction. So I'm Anand, and I head digital for Jubilant Foodworks. I've been here for around a year and a half now. And I'm sure all of you know about Jubilant Foodworks, but for those who don't, Jubilant Foodworks. So this is how I used to introduce Jubilant Foodworks as the master franchisee of Domino's and Dunkin Donuts for South Asia. But now I'm proud to say that we are not limited to that. A couple of days ago, we launched our Chinese food brand. It's called Hong's Kitchen. And we hope that will become as big as Domino's soon enough. So that's our own brand. It's not a brand that we franchisee. So moving on, so out of the portfolio that I manage, which includes technology, digital marketing, data engineering, and analytics, I'll be talking specifically on a topic which is very close to my heart. And I know, 10 minutes is too short a time for that, but I'll still try to, manage as much as possible. So this is a unique amalgamation of data analytics and digital marketing. So I'll be talking about customer segmentation and personalization and how, and these are interrelated, right? So how personalization helps you segment your customers, target them better, and get better bang for your buck. So let me define personalization first, and what do I mean by that, and how do I ride on that as a marketeer. So personalization is a key theme to do two things. One is to bring back your lapsed customers. They could have lapsed for whatever reason, and I'll come to that in a bit. And number two is to increase the frequency of your existing customers. That's the game, isn't it? So if you can manage to do both, then you're done. I can't share all the numbers here because we are a public listed company, but an interesting trivia here. If I could bring back even 50% of my lapsed customers, I have that database with me, then I would not have to work a single day for the next 365 days. My entire target would be met. So that's the potential of CRM. Of course, practically you can't bring all of them back, but that's the potential. It's of course a very strong tool. I don't like using the word against. I always like partnering with people, but in this context I'll use the word against. It's a very strong counter competition tool. And again, I'll come to that in a bit as I go through the presentation. Jubilant, or rather Domino's in this context, being an omni-channel player, it's important that personalization spans across all our channels, across our digital assets, across call centers, which is around 12%, if I'm not mistaken, 12% of our overall sales is through call centers itself. And of course, personalization needs to percolate through to our point of sale systems as well, because that's 50% of our business. Basic personalization today exists on our digital assets. Features like one-click reordering, right? So if you've ordered before on Domino's, there's a one-click reordering feature. In fact, there's a zero-click ordering feature where you can long press the Domino's icon and your last order will be repeated within 10 seconds unless you stop that clock. We get decent traction there. I wouldn't say it's a runaway hit, but we get decent traction there. Tagging your products as your favorite products, tagging orders as your favorite orders. We've got a bit of, not really ML, but a bit of learning going on there where even if you've not tagged any product or any order as your favorite order, we've got an algorithm running behind the scenes which guesses which probably is your favorite product depending on your browsing history and your order transaction history, and tags them automatically as your favorite order. In fact, we launched our Alexa skill very recently. I'd recommend you try that out. So if you launch your Alexa skill, the Domino skill, and say, hey Domino's, just repeat my last order, it will use this algorithm to find that out. And of course, one big aspect of personalization, which will be the focus of today's discussion, is CRM, coupons, and communication, and how do you segment your customers and don't do a spray and pray. This is what we've already done, and I can talk a lot about that. What we plan to do in phase 2, and a lot of prototyping is already going on when I talk about phase 2, is personalized recommendations on the site itself. We are in a A/B test mode right now. Personalized offers, a segment of one where an offer that a person gets is completely different from another person depending on his needs. Personalized listing and menu, and finally personalized landing page. So once we've accomplished all these 4, then the app that someone in this room sees can be completely different from the app that someone else sees. It will be completely personalized depending on your segment, and hopefully we'll reach segment of one day. Moving on. So, when we embarked on this journey of, it's a little busy slide here, and don't worry, I'll not get into the technical details of this, but what I'm trying to say here is that when we embarked on this journey of personalization and data and analytics, what was very important for us to understand is that this is a very fast changing world. So if you pick up a commercial off-the-shelf solution, which we refer to as COTS, you kind of tied to that, you're bound to that, right? So if tomorrow you need to change something, you need to introduce a new algorithm, you need to ingest new data, that would require a lot of re-engineering or new engineering and so on and so forth. So we were very clear from day one that the solution that we put together has to be very modular, right? And I'd strongly recommend to anybody who's about to embark on that journey. So we have a data layer underneath. So this is something that we built in-house completely. This is the entire data layer here, right? So we have multiple sources of data here going into our data lake, from a raw layer to a curated layer. There's elaborate engineering involved there. You're more than welcome to outsource that, do that in-house, doesn't matter. And then all of those, that goes into a data warehouse, in-memory, super fast. Those who are familiar with Amazon Redshift, that can churn petabytes of data in minutes. So that's the kind of power that we have there. And then your engines can sit on top of this. So SageMaker, again, is an Amazon solution which uses machine learning to drive recommendations in our case. We are partnering with various companies to sit on top of this data lake to do all kinds of campaign management and CRM for us. So what I'm trying to essentially say here is that have the data layer modular, something that plugged in and plugged out at will. Tomorrow, for example, I want to plug in Facebook data, just another module, just plug it in here. Google clickstream data, we can do that as well. And then your AI engine sits on top of that. And on top of that, you have the visualization layer, which I don't know if this works here. No, you can't see it there. So this is the visualization layer. So it could be either Excel, or we use Microsoft Power BI. There's a custom UI that we use as well. Moving on in the interest of time quickly. So these are the 2 aspects of personalization that I'll be quickly trying to cover in the next 3.5 minutes. The omni-channel ordering experience that we talked about, and CRM communication. So these are 2 distinct streams of personalization that we do. This you will find very interesting. So this is something at Domino scale has given us a 5% upside in conversion. Let that sink in. At Domino scale, a 5% upside in conversion. But this is an ABC mode, ABC, so A/B test, multivariate test. And we'll soon roll this out to 100%. So here what you can see, this is our cart, right? So this is the upsell strip that we have. We've had this strip for the longest period of time, which is based on heuristics. That if you don't have a Pepsi or a garlic bread or a dip in your cart, then recommend that to the consumer. Plain Jane gives good conversion. We have a decent attachment rate. We call that attachment rate. Then we moved into an algorithm-based upsell where it's dynamic. Depending on what you have in your cart, what is the highest probability of attaching something, right? Basic collaborative filtering. That gave us an upside. But this is where the magic happened. This is where we started using AI. We use SageMaker, we use a priori algorithms, where we remove bias. And I really don't want to get into removing bias algorithms right now. But once you remove bias, then specifically for the product that you have, after removing bias, you get the products that will give you the maximum upsell. As you can see, this is a chicken product, and as opposed to maybe a vegetarian product, you'll get different recommendations here. So this is what has given us around 5% upside in conversion. Moving on quickly, some of the big things that we've done which has made a significant impact on our revenues. So we had targeted frequency. BPO stands for billing per order, which is commonly referred to as AOV in the market, average order value. So through this segmented targeting, we've got 5x the revenue that we used to get. Not the top line has not become 5x, but the revenue that we used to get through plain simple CRM, spray and pray, that has increased by around 5x. Bringing back lapsed customers. This is my personal dream, So this is what we're working very hard on. As of now, we've been able to win back close to 1.5 million customers by not investing incrementally in digital marketing. That's the magic here. And bringing competition customers back to our platforms. I would not like to name the competition here, but you can imagine who the competition is, and people who moved from our platform to other platforms, winning them back. And we've been able to win back 350,000 customers without, again, incremental digital marketing investment. We're almost out of time. I'll skip this slide. So this is the kind of depth that a modular structure of segmentation and personalization allows you. I don't think we should be going into the details of the numbers, but it's a 4-dimensional matrix that you end up creating. Recency, frequency, monetary, superimposed on the taste segmentation, and then you create hypothesis. You drive those hypothesis-based offers, and then the conversion happens. So as you can see, this is the potential of what we are doing right now. Not the potential, something that we've achieved right now. Moving on, and so this is a quick look at the kind of dimensions that we look at while we create our segments. For example, the order source, the order frequency, the preferred time of ordering, geography, average order value, do all kinds of micro segmentation, target the customers, and bring them back to our platform. Final 10 seconds. So I will not take you through all these points because there are 3-4 slides, but what I'm trying to do here is compare our in-house solution with a popular market, commercial off-the-shelf solution, and the reason why we chose to build it in-house. It might sound counterintuitive to a lot of people that there are segmentation or campaign management tools out there in the market which are commercially available. Why not use those? So we did a fairly in-depth analysis of the capabilities that we needed versus what existed, and hence we took that decision. That's pretty much it. Out of time. Happy to answer any other questions that you have. So this is a quick glimpse of the win backs that we've had through our different campaigns, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, thank you. Okay, cool.